Alright, this is the next page in your interactive notebook. So just to go through geometry one more time. You have your title page. Mine is on page 29. I skipped the page on the back of the title. On my page 30, we have our line segments, rays, intersecting lines, parallel lines, perpendicular lines. Then we did our angles with our right angles being the most important there. And then we did our polygon foldable where we filled in all of that. And now I'm ready for my next page. You're going to find the sheet that looks like this. You're going to want to cut out your standard. You're going to want to cut out all the tabs. And you want to cut out the rule down at the bottom, okay? Once you get them cut out, you're only going to put glue on the tabs because you want to be able to open and close each one of these. As we go over and talk about them, you'll want to be able to open and close them just like this, okay? So only put glue on the tab. So our standard says, I can recognize, draw, and identify shapes and understand they may share attributes. The rule box at the bottom says a plane shape is a flat shape. Examples are triangles, pentagons, hexagons, quadrilaterals, okay? Now I want you to notice how I've glued mine in. These 4 shapes are polygons except for circle. Circle is not a polygon. We'll talk about mine in a minute. It is a shape, but it's not a polygon shape. And then I separated these 3 because these 3 are all our quadrilateral group. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pen and I'm going to write quadrilateral next to these. Q-U-A-D-R-I-L-A-T-E-R-A-L. These are my 3 quadrilaterals. Now there are actually 5 types of quadrilaterals that we learn in 3rd grade. These right here are 3 of those 5. The one that's missing, the 2 that are missing are parallelogram and trapezoid. Now keep in mind, all of these are parallelograms. So that's why we don't have a parallelogram tab. Every one of these have parallel sides. So they all fit with the parallelogram group. Alright, so under each tab, this is what we're going to do. A circle, we're just going to draw an example. Now remember, a circle is a curved shape. Ignore that line. That was an accent. A circle is a curved shape, so therefore it is not a polygon. So I'm going to write not a polygon, just so we know that. We won't use the circle a lot except when we get with fractions, but we do need to know that it is not a polygon. They like to throw that shape at us, and make sure that you never ever say that it's a polygon because a circle is not a straight line. It does not have straight sides. To be a polygon, you have to have straight sides. Triangle. A triangle is a polygon. There are different kinds of triangles, but in 3rd grade we don't focus on the different names of the triangles. So just draw me an example of a triangle. I know it's a triangle because it has 3 sides and 3 angles. We learned in our lesson, our first lesson in geometry out of our iReady book, that we name shapes by their sides and their angles. So it has 3 sides and 3 angles. Any shape that has 3 sides, 3 angles, we're going to call it a triangle. Tri means 3. Pentagon. Penta, remember, meant 5. So a pentagon is what I like to call, most of the time when we see a pentagon, is that housetop shape. But to know they can look any way. This is a pentagon. I could draw another type of pentagon, but to be a pentagon, it has to have 5 sides and 5 angles. Sometimes we can have right angles, but there has to be 5 to be a pentagon. The next one is hexagon. Hexa, remember, meant 6. So your 6-sided shape typically is going to look like this. Okay, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And 6 angles. If you can remember, 6 has an X and hexa has an X, then we can remember a hexagon is the 6-sided polygon. Okay? Rectangle. Now, rectangle, rhombus, and square. These are all my quadrilaterals. Quad means 4. You might put that in parentheses. 4 sides and 4 angles is a quadrilateral. So to be a rectangle, not only do you have to have 4 sides and 4 angles, but you have to have all right angles. It is not a rectangle unless it has all right angles. So it's a quadrilaterals with 4 right angles. Any quadrilateral that has 4 right angles, we can name it a rectangle. 4 right angles. Even a square is a rectangle because it has 4 right angles. A lot of my third graders miss that. That is a rectangle. The rule of being a rectangle is you are a quadrilateral with 4 right angles. That's all it's got to have to be a rectangle. 4 right angles. Okay. Rhombus. A rhombus is a quadrilateral, and the rule for, or the attribute of a rhombus is all sides are the same length. So a rectangle, a regular shaped rectangle, cannot fit in a rhombus, but a square can, because every side on a square is the same length. Also, this is a rhombus. It's not a square because it doesn't have right angles, but it is a rhombus. To be a rhombus, every side has to be the same length. Both of these are rhombuses. This one because it has all equal sides, and this one because all the sides are the same length. I'm going to go back and put those right angles in here so you know that is a square. So look, a square can be a rectangle and a rhombus. It matches both rules, both attributes. So a square has to be a rectangle and it has to be a rhombus, which means it has to have 4 right angles and all sides are the same length. It has to have 4 right angles and all sides the same length. So there's only one way you can draw a square, and that is like this. 4 right angles, and every side is the same length. So a square is a rectangle and a rhombus. Because it fits both of those groups, it also can fit with the square. Squares have to have right angles, just like a rectangle has to have right angles. Squares have to have every side the same, just like a rhombus has to have every side the same. All 3 of these are parallelograms. I want to throw that in there. They're all parallelograms. Okay, so this is the next page in your interactive notebook.